Draymond Green, you either love him or hate him. I know it's split almost 50-50. We have some news around him. Trade rumors are swirling. 3 years left, $75 million on his contract. Do we keep him? Do we trade him? In this episode of Warriors Digest, we're going to break down trades for Draymond Green. Specific teams, players, and salary, draft picks, how it all works. Randy Silver here. Go ahead and hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our Warriors Digest that drop daily on everything around our Warriors. Let's get into it. Draymond Green trade. NBA Trade Report, Twitter account, sources. Golden State will be active in summer finding a trade partner for Draymond Green. You can see here almost 900,000 views over the course of a day. I want to just say, I'm a journalist at heart. I could not find the sources here. Nothing was sourced. So I don't want to say this is fake news. However, this account, I can't just say because it says sources, is refutable, is something that you can trust. However, with that said, we do hear in the media, we do hear around, do we trade Draymond to try to get bigger, to try to get assets back to help us? Was he worth it this year? And do we need to find someone different? So with that in mind, I'm not taking that one tweet as credible, but in the comments as well, people have said, let's trade Draymond. So how would that work? So I'm going to dive into trades with teams he's talked about, or you maybe haven't thought about, and we're going to look at how it would work. So Draymond's contract, he has 3 years left, and he's getting paid basically $25 million per year. So to make the trade work, you're going to have to basically find the salary that's around $75 million of the contract, or bring in some draft picks. So what's the teams? The first team he said he loved to play for, Detroit Pistons. Why? He's from Michigan, played college ball at Michigan State, said it'd be awesome to go back and play in his home state. If we look at the contracts, they don't have anybody that's worth $25 million in contract for the 2024-25 season, or $75 million in total. Means you're going to have to mix and match. Draymond, power forward, so we're going to probably want someone to replace that, or draft picks. Who do they have? James Wiseman. I've seen a lot of people in the comments say we should get James Wiseman back. He's a free agent, so we could potentially sign him for free. No need to trade. No need to do a sign and trade. They're not trading Cade Cunningham. They're not trading Thompson. Probably not trading Ivy. Maybe Stewart, but they give him a long contract. That means they believe in him. So I don't see a lot of trade prospects here for Detroit. We look at the picks. They own their pick, which is going to be top 4 this year. They own many picks coming up through the next years. And the left is first round, right is second round. So potentially you could do a package of Draymond getting a top 4 pick this year. If it becomes top 4, the odds are based off of where they finish in the season, which is bottom of the draw. They could. Now, 113, 111, 1 through 9, they own. They're also getting potentially the New York Knicks picks. So there could be a package there where you bring in 3-4 first round picks for Draymond. Now, is that good for Detroit? They're not winning now. They're probably where OKC was 3 years ago, building up, acquiring young players, let this team grow. Monty Williams, new head coach last year, obviously did not go well. What's he be able to do? So does getting Draymond really help the Pistons? Probably not. So I don't see this trade happening. Although you could do picks to get there, they're not going to be able to make it happen. They're not going to want to make it happen. Comment your thoughts. You agree or disagree? Team 2, LA Lakers. Draymond has said he loved to play in LA. We know he has a lot of different businesses going on, has his media business. LA is the perfect home for that. LA has potential. When we look here, they got AD. AD plays a lot of power forward, sometimes center for them. So Draymond could move into power forward. AD stays strictly at center. And they have some salaries there that they could do. They're not trading LeBron. They're not trading AD. Maybe you give up a D'Angelo and a Rui, which then Warriors would have to throw in some extra money for that as well. They're probably not giving up Austin Reeves with the way he shoots. Gabe Vincent, they just signed him. He was hurt a lot. You could potentially do a Rui and Gabe Vincent. So if you look there, Rui's at $17 million. Gabe Vincent's $11 million. That puts you at $28 million. Draymond's at $25 million per year, so that could work. You throw someone in, but the lifetime of the contract, Rui's at $35 million, Gabe Vincent's at $22 million, so that puts you at $57 million. You're going to be $25 million short, basically. So that means the Lakers would have to throw in some draft picks. They don't have a lot of draft picks. Potential they'll be good. They own picks later, but we know the Lakers probably aren't going to keep those picks. They trade picks a lot. So you could do 2 players plus a first round 2026, first round 2028. Maybe the Lakers think they'll still be pretty good at that point competing, and they'll be lower picks. But the options are there for the Lakers to make this happen. Warriors themselves, you can see that if we have to throw some picks in, we have our own picks later in the decade, but not a lot there for us to work with in terms of the next couple drafts they're giving out to people. And I'm talking about first round picks. So I think this could work. Again, Rui would really help us. Tall player, around 6'8", 6'9", is able to be a 3-point shooter, better on defense than you expect, can get in transition. Gabe Vincent, great defensive player as well. Can he stay healthy? We saw what he did 2 years ago for Miami Heat in that playoff run. He was really good. He was that spark plug. So potentially Rui comes in, starts for Draymond. You have Trace Jackson Davis be able to be at the center. And then Gabe Vincent could come off the bench and be a spark plug backup point guard. That could work. And then you get a couple first round picks. Does that make you a title contender team? Probably not. Other than that, I'm not really sure there's anybody here that you really want. Jared Vanderbilt, another tall player, could help with length potentially, but you see how long he's signed for. Lakers have him locked up, so I'm thinking they're probably not going to want to trade him. Potentially they do if you do $39 million, and you do Rui, who's at $51 million. You're close to that Draymond $75 million. Warriors then got to throw a couple players in. So if you look at the Warriors, Draymond at the $75 million left. Potentially you could throw in, I don't even know, like a Santos. We probably have to do draft picks. So I think the Lakers is a much more feasible trade. Comment your thoughts and let me know. Team 3. Philadelphia 76ers. Look at this. They basically have 2 players signed for the next upcoming season. Joel Embiid, $51 million. Paul Reed at $7 million. You know Maxey right there. You look at that. Last year in this contract, $4 million. He'd get in the bag, most likely getting that max contract. So they have cap room to be able to facilitate a trade. However, they would have to sign and trade people, and you can't really speculate what that would be. Daryl Morey, their GM, said he's looking to make a big shift for the whole team. Every name may not come back besides those 2 signed, Maxey and Embiid. So we look at their draft picks. They really don't have a lot of draft picks. A lot of variables here that they can sign, that they can send away. Maybe you do something in 2029, 2030 that doesn't help the Warriors now. Maybe helps them rebuild it back in the decade, but not going to help you get a player to draft potentially now. And we know also the first round picks, Sixers are usually going to be top 4, top 5 in the playoffs. Going to be a very low type of first round pick. When I say low, 20 to 30 range. They own their 1 through 6, but then boom, it goes to OKC, so you can't trade that. It's already in the stipulation. So there's not much here the Sixers can trade for, which means it really comes down to potentially doing sign and trades there. Of course, I'm not trading Embiid. So Sixers, probably not going to happen. Comment your thoughts. Then lastly, Team 4, Atlanta Hawks. Your surprise team. Because look at this. Trey's always been talked about, but you're not putting Trey and Steph on the same team. Not going to work height-wise. They both want the ball, shooters, so it's probably not going to work. But Clint Capella, he's got 1 year left, $22 million. That could work. Potentially DeJounte Murray, who we know that they potentially maybe want to get rid of, or Bogdanovich. $51 million, and then Clint Capella is at $42 million. That puts you at $90 million, basically, a little bit over it. That could work. If you're trading Draymond, boom. Clint Capella is able to go inside and be your 4. Can play 5, but then you put Trace Jackson at 5, and now you have some good height in there. In addition, we know Bogdan, great shooter, great 3, can help stretch the floor a bit for the Warriors. Now, of course, again, if we do that, we look at salary, 51-42, puts you at basically 93. So we look at the Warriors. Draymond's at 75. Potentially throw in Wiggins, but then it becomes too much. Who else do we throw in? Maybe at that point, you got to throw in Moody. Again, we talked about last video, Kuminga's untouchable. And then some trade assets. We look at Atlanta Hawks. They own a lot of their picks coming up. And right now, they're a mid-level team. So if they're not doing any well, this could help. But they probably don't need to do picks here. The Hawks would want picks back from us. So that's kind of how that trade will work. A couple other teams out there. And again, comment your thoughts. Do you think that works? Do you like that trade? Not like that? Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis. We'd have to mortgage everybody. In that case, Kuminga's gone. Moody's gone. Probably Trace Jackson-Davis. Brandon's gone. And first-round picks. I don't think that's a smart trade. Maybe Chris Middleton. Length, shooter. So the Bucks could be there. Knicks, probably not a lot of trade there. And, it hurts to see DiVincenzo, who was with us last year, doing so well. I mean, good for him, but you want that to be on the Warriors. We're not doing a trade with the Kings, of course. Clippers, maybe Paul George sign and trade. But that's another shooting guard. Takes some stress off of Steph. But how healthy is he going to be? Is that going to be able to help us down low? Probably not. So those are 4 logical trades I think that can work for the Warriors. If you look at it, Detroit, potentially he wants to go there. Lakers, most realistic to me. Then you have 76ers. We need to get a lot of work done. Hawks have some players need to work it done. Comment your thoughts. Let me know what you think is the best trade, or if there's another trade I did not talk about, and we can dissect that on another video. Until next one, y'all.